All right, hello, Cheerskevin here, and welcome back to AstroBlock. And oh my goodness, we've been robbed. Nope, I've been tidying up. I feel so excited. I'm so excited. I feel proud. I get to show you the work that I've been doing. I feel like I've come home from school. I'm saying, hey, check this out. Put this on the fridge. I don't know. Well, welcome back. In the last episode, we created our Astro Miner. And then we started playing with some drawers. I'm trying to even remember where we were at the end of the last episode. And hello, it's Kevin here from the future. A couple episodes in the future, actually. The episode that you're watching right now is not actually episode 14. It's actually episode 15, but I lost the footage for episode 14. It's very sad, but to be honest, you didn't miss a ton. Let me recap it for you really quickly. So, I'm coming at you from Creative Testing World. We ended up throwing away our metallurgic infuser because the whole progression kind of was based on needing to go to Earth and get titanium ingots to unlock the metallurgic infuser. So I said, okay, we're going to throw it away. We'll keep the logistical transport pipes that we have, but we won't be able to craft any new ones. And yeah, we'll just try and play this the way that other people are playing it. And we had the metallurgic infuser because before the recipe hadn't changed. So we ended up throwing that away. Next thing that we did is we discovered that the drawer controller, which I thought was inaccessible to us because it required nether quartz, turns out, you can just use a block of quartz and it's entirely fine. You can get a block of quartz in the compressor with soul sand, which you can also get in the compressor, with nether wart, which you can also get in the compressor. Point is, there's a recipe that allows us to get quartz, which allows us to craft a drawer controller, which means that we are able to throw a bunch of stuff into all of our drawers, and it's very nice. And I believe that was mentioned in the comments, so thank you very much for that. The last thing that we discovered, was this Astro Miner that we had wanted to build, and I said, oh, no, it turns out we don't have the recipe or whatever. Well, it turns out if we go to, advanced machinery, you actually get the schematic for the Astro Miner by building the Orion drive. So we built an Orion drive, we got the schematic, we built ourselves an Astro Miner. We've not built a chunk loader, though that'd be nice. And this is what it looks like. So here is the, here is the Astro Miner base. We just plop things like that, and it looks like this. And we can go ahead and toss that in. We can also rotate it, but whatever. We'll go ahead and toss that in. Oh, look at that. It's gone ahead and just eaten up some of these. And this thing basically goes out and it binds the cores of asteroids and it just throws the materials back in here. So it goes out, comes back, goes out, comes back. Right now it has no power, so it's not doing any of those things. But that is what you missed. And now back to your regularly scheduled episode. I've spent some time between then, making ourselves migrating over our storage and getting rid of all of those random chests all over the place. This is empty. It's been evicted. This now contains our Astro Miner, and it has an upgraded obsidian chest that it's pulling stuff into, and our NASA workbench, but mostly it's empty. And of course, our main area is mostly empty as well. Except for some of the machines that are still here in the ground. I don't know why I'm talking in this weird voice, but I am, so we're going to get used to it. And I have set up our storage system. So let me walk you through. We have a whole bunch of chests. A lot of these have upgrades in them. A lot of them have void upgrades in them so that we don't end up collecting extra stuff. I did figure out a system for our sifter that works. The gist is, hey, don't use pipes for things when it's just going to randomly pull stuff that there may not be space for. We'll just go ahead and use hoppers in that case. So we fill this thing with sand. As soon as this thing can accommodate more sand, it accommodates more sand. And we automatically pull some sand in. We create dust and we void extra dust. And we go ahead and throw that into our dust sifter. I have this on a switch, so it goes through and produces diamonds and redstone and lapis and all of that wonderful stuff for us whenever we have that unpowered. And there's a pipe under there that goes into our drawer controller, which is right here. Another thing that we have right in front is a chest that goes down into a furnace through a hopper. There's a furnace right underneath the drawer controller, so that if we have ores and stuff that we just want to drop off, we can go ahead and do that. Now, I did play around really quickly with frame drawers, and I do eventually want to swap these out for frame drawers, but I discovered something. If you look at the tooltip in the top left, we get the item counts. It says basic drawers and 128 of the pumpkin seeds, 382 of the whatever. And you don't get that with the frame drawers, which is kind of a bummer. Now, that's not a big deal because we can use the quantify key to display numbers directly on the chests themselves, but the quantify key requires a book and quill, which requires a feather, and we don't have a way to get access to feathers unless we go back to Earth. So we'll have to wait until we go back to Earth, and then we'll be able to set up a quantify key and we'll go ahead and swap these things out finally. But we have a whole bunch of stuff. I also set up a quartz grindstone because this thing, our little Astro Miner base, which, okay, it's been dropping off, yeah, mostly asteroid rock. It did drop off some ilmenite ore, and ilmenite ore is... Yeah, so I think it silk touches these. We could throw these things in a quartz grindstone, which is a manual process, and it will produce both iron and titanium, as opposed to just one or the other if we smelt it up. So I did take some time, put together a quartz grindstone, and spun that thing up. Also, created a whole bunch of chests for all of the assorted stuff that were, yeah, all of the assorted stuff. But okay, enough about the stuff that I've done in the meantime. I want to walk through what we are going to do now. By the way, this is temporary. We're going to get rid of that eventually. Just you wait. Oh, I've also upgraded, by the way. I created some heavy oxygen tanks. This is nice and easy. We should have done this earlier, I think. There's also very heavy and extremely heavy oxygen tanks, but we need super crazy materials to do this. This is just steel ingots, tin canisters, and then wool. So yeah, now we have slightly better oxygen tanks. And that's very nice. I also want to upgrade the jetpack at some point too, so that we store more phi. And I don't know, maybe we'll have a better hover speed if we do that as well. But yes, today, what I want to tackle, well, there's a couple things. I'd like to at some point go into, what is it, matter manipulation? Yeah, the matter manipulation mod. There are phasers and plasma shotguns and phaser rifles. I think that's a great way for us to survive Earth if we go back to Earth, which we eventually want to do so we can get back into the mechanism stuff that I cut us off from, so we can have more logistical pipes and all that stuff. But before we do any of that, I want to get us some food solved, and I also want to get us some oxygen solved. I put down an oxygen sealer here, and I have this disabled right now because if I enable it, it uses a fair bit of oxygen. It uses 40 per second, and that's great and all. But 40 per second plus 40 per second is not what we were producing upstairs. Now, the way that these work, these oxygen collectors, is, oh, yeah, see, there we go. It's collecting, yeah, we're draining, that's not the best. It collects based on the number of oak leaves that are within a 5-block radius. And yeah, right now, we're not keeping up. But another thing that you can do is you can actually collect off of crops. So, I have a big plan for this episode, and we're going to do some fancy designs. We're going to build a big, amazing oxygen collection system / potato farm, and I'm excited to do that. So, we're going to use our plant sower and plant gatherer, and we're going to do these in proper ways. I'm just going to pull these into our inventory. I actually kept this here just so we would have a whole system for constructing. So I'd have all this stuff organized, basically. What I want to do first is I want to create some decorative blocks. There we go. Look at that. You can create factory blocks. 32 of them is this recipe. I don't know if that was an oversight or it's just something that they left in there for whatever reason, but I have a plan in mind, and I think this is the design that we want to go for. I'm going to create a chisel, and oh, I thought that was the recipe for a chisel. Chisel. Oh, it's like that. Okay, fine. There we go. Chisel. Thank you. And now let's put that there. Let's go ahead and chisel. I want to take some of these blocks, at least. Let's put this one here. Actually, we can change our minds on these. That's fine. I'm going to change these to rusty scaffolds because I like the rusty scaffold look. All right, glass pane, tin ingot, plastic. Oh, man, what are we doing? Okay, we're going to build another oxygen collector. And in fact, eventually, we're going to build a bunch of oxygen collectors because the oxygen collectors can work on the same leaf blocks or crop blocks. So there's no reason we can't just have multiple all soaking up oxygen from the same plants. That may seem a little bit cheaty, but at the same time, you think about it, well, we're collecting oxygen, and otherwise some of that oxygen would just escape to the vacuum or to the atmosphere or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so we're going to build an oxygen collector. That requires an oxygen concentrator, and yeah, that's what some of this material is. Aha, nope, okay, I remember what these are for. These are for the range add-ons. We're going to build some range add-ons, tier 3 range add-ons from Industrial Foregoing. We're going to craft, too large to craft in the, right, I know that, I'm aware. You don't have to tell me. We need 2 of these, These are tier 3 range add-ons, and basically this means that now our sower and our gatherer can operate in a 9x9 area, and that's going to be amazing. Now, all of this material is for creating the oxygen harvester stuff. So, I'm going to grab that. Let's go ahead and look at our oxygen harvester. Oxygen harvester, collector? I don't remember. Oxygen collector, yes. Oxygen concentrator is the first of these materials that we need. Good. And gather some of these. Got some junk already. Let's create an oxygen fan. There we go. Thank you very much for that. And then these materials are the rest of the things that we need for the concentrator. I'm gonna have to dump some stuff out of my inventory. Ah, man, I was so prepared. Well, sort of. All right. Oxygen collector. There we go. And we'll create our first of no doubt many oxygen collectors. Okay. So I have a plan for how this is going to be designed, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an interesting challenge. It's going to be kind of weird. So I'm excited to have a whole bunch of potatoes coming in, but here's what we're going to do. So I am going to, right now, we're going to take this out. Now, I want to be able to basically have enough oxygen that we can get rid of a fair number of the airlocks that we have in here right now. That would be ideal. The plan, though, is we're basically going to build this thing. Now, if you look at the way that this ship is designed, we haven't made structural modifications to this thing yet, but now is, well, aside from that, I suppose, but now is the time where we're really going to do that. And we could try and come up with something that's a little aerodynamic. This thing is already kind of boxy, and I think we're going to kind of mimic the EVE Online attitude about ships, which is really, hey, these things aren't meant to be flown in an atmosphere, so there's no, aerodynamic is a pointless thing. There's never any reason to make your ships aerodynamic in space. That's you're operating on faulty assumptions. So how dare you? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to lay out the foundations of this thing here. Is this, oh, this is angled. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and take these off as well. I have, yes. You know, I'm just gonna plop. I'm gonna plop. I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, shame on me. I swear I was reformed. I'll go ahead and plop that down. Get rid of, yeah, some of the stuff that we just don't need for right now. And let's go ahead and, because these are all on frame slants. We will try and put in some more frame slants and fix so things aren't quite as blocky. But we're not gonna try and make things super crazy sleek. All right, so go ahead and do this. And now we are going to build. We're gonna need a lot of vertical space for what I have in mind. And here is what that is. So we'll start doing this, and then we'll see. I don't know if we're even gonna bother enclosing this, to be honest. I mean, eventually it'd be nice, but I don't know how tricky fuel is gonna be. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, and then yeah, 5. Okay, so then from there, we need to have. Let's go ahead and use a placeholder block. I have cobblestone generating out here for just such a purpose. Let's go ahead and grab some of that. And, yep, give me that. So I'm going to put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see, if I try and hover here, that's hover. It is not much of a hover. 3, 4, 5. And there is where our oxygen collector is going to go. All right. And I am actually going to rotate that. That is, let's see, this is, green is power and red is the oxygen output, if I remember right. Let's double check over there. Which over here, let's see. Oh, of course, it's not going to show us. Yeah, right. Well, you know, we can just pick that up. Sealable aluminum wire. Yes, green is for power. Okay. Although I don't suppose that, yeah, that doesn't particularly matter. So I don't know why we needed to check it. This is fine. All right. So we've got this. Okay. So then that is the bottom of that. Then we're going to have, let's see, another bit of placeholder here. Boom. And below that will be our plant sower. Okay. So put that there. And actually now we can remove. Well, let's put placeholder below that. If we if we do make this a fully enclosed thing, this is where our base layer is going to be. We will have similar to in the main room how there is a. Okay, there we go. Let's hop down so this is less irritating. Similar to how in the main room there is a single block empty space. I'm going to take this out now. Oh, shoot, I had shift held. Stupid me. All right, fair enough. I deserved it, I guess. Of course I had shift held. I was trying not to fall off. How dare you? Okay. Check that one out. There we go. Oh, I wanted to let me grab some water real quick. Yeah, so basically this sewer would exist on the piping utility layer, as it were. This block will eventually get removed, so that's fine. As will this one, because we'll have oxygen and power running down. But that's fine as well. Okay, so there we go. Do and let me go ahead and do this real quick. Oh, yeah, holding shift is going to be. Oh man, I'm gonna put this in and then boom, and then oh nice, we didn't trickle any water, amazing. And I'm not gonna hold shift. I'm just gonna break that one block up there. We'll just waste jetpack fuel by thrusting upward into it as we punch it slowly. Okay, there we go. So this will be the base of our farm. So we're gonna go out 4 blocks, 2, 3, 4, and 4 blocks here as well. 3, 4, and then 4 here. Ba-bum, ba-bum, and out here. Okay, so I need to fill all of this in, and then let's see. Let's see if I can get these. Let's see if I remember right. So now the idea. Let me put. I want to get this gatherer placed correctly as well, because the gatherer is a pain in the butt. Okay, so I think the trick to these industrial foregoing machines and placing them is you place them at a sideways block that you want them to. So that will now be the side that it's facing. So now if I get rid of this, it should be facing. Yes, it is. Okay, so with both of these, so like here, we can say show the working area, and right now it will only operate on there. If we put in the range add-on, now it operates on that grid, and that is exactly as we expect. Cool. So let's go ahead and turn that off, hide the working area. And so this is the thing that will gather up our potatoes. Now down here, gonna do the same thing. Gotta stay nearby. Put in a range add-on and show the working area, please. And there we go. Same area. So it will plant potatoes to all of these squares, and all of these squares should hydrate because we put a water block down there as well. So the cool thing here is that we can replace all of these cobblestone blocks eventually. And in fact, I'll go ahead and just take out these cobblestone blocks. We will be able to put additional oxygen collectors here, and we will run the piping the same way. And yeah, it'll be amazing. So yeah, green is power. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, you know what? I kind of want to grab, we'll use, for this one, we'll use a sealed aluminum pipe because I like that. And we'll use a sealed fluid pipe as well so that it's flush, so that the water doesn't go anywhere. Let me go ahead and the sealable fluid pipe I have not made. So let's see how that goes. Sealable fluid, fluid pipes first. Fluid pipe looks like this. It's just glass panes, which is nice and convenient. Let me just go ahead and set us to filter glass. Yep, glass panes. So go ahead and give me some fluid pipes. There we go. We'll take 6 of those. We'll eventually want more, but that's fine. And then so the sealed one is just, surround that with tin wall. Cool. Let me take some aluminum ingots out as well. Do I have iron plates on me? No. All right, let me go ahead and there we go. So compressed iron, put this there, and then surround that by aluminum. I thought that was how it would. Wait a second. aluminum wire. Oops. There we go. Aluminum wire. Oh, maybe it just doesn't like the spot. Yep, that was it. Weird. Okay, fair enough. Let's make a closed version of both of those so we can put those. Let's just grab a bunch of tin. And there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll make a closed wire and a closed fluid. A closed ba-da-ba-da. There we go. I like it. And let's head down here and swap these out. So this one, just make sure. I'm gonna plop this into the slot there. And yeah, okay, so that connects. So we want to put the aluminum wire there. So I'm gonna quickly do this before the water can go anywhere. Good. And then we'll do the fluid pipe over here. There we go. And fluid pipe, I like that. So then the output from these things can run along the bottom here. That doesn't need to connect, but whatever. Okay, so the power can go there. That's just fine. I am going to need to make a bunch more aluminum wire and run our current aluminum cabling down here to get this thing some actual power. And then I'm also going to have to run from here down. So we've got a couple of things. Need to run some logistical transporters. I'm going to have to cobble together what we still have remaining out of the gatherer and into the sower so that it replenishes the potatoes. But that shouldn't be too bad. Too bad. And basically, we can just continue to stack these up as we have the resources to create more oxygen collectors. And I think I think this will produce something like 40 or 80. I don't remember. And then just continue to stack these up until they come right to below this factory gangway. I don't know words. And you know what, idiot me. Now that I see, I should just reverse this. I'm gonna reverse this. Oh man, I'm gonna rotate this like so, because that's the way the things are set up over here anyway. It'll make it easier if these things go opposite. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap those out. Okay, there we go. Let me go ahead. I'm going to craft up a bunch more aluminum wire, and I'm going to go ahead and get us wired into this system. So real quick, I think if we did end up building some sort of wall, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Just on an assumption that eventually it'll be something we'll have the resources to spend on. So we'll go down one, because this would then be the service layer, and then this would be the proper bottom of the. Actually, can we do an upside down frame slant like this? Maybe. Let's see. If I can. Yes. Lovely. And then something like that. Oh, I like this. So this would basically be how our ship works. Right? So if we look at from afar, you can see that is a pretty that's a pretty significant dip. But the thinking is that this would go back quite a way. So this would be kind of the bridge of the ship, and then the ship would have a very large sort of thing that would eventually we'll continue to expand on, obviously, and build more stuff. But okay, I'm gonna get some cabling wired up, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so I have everything wired up. I didn't realize I had set down my basic logistical transporters. We needed a total of 6, so I combined the advanced and the elite. Basically, this is just to make sure that the sower the gatherer refeeds things into the sower. So we'll gather potatoes and we'll feed them back in as possible, as is feasible. One thing, right now there's not an easy way for us to get things out. Probably we do want to. Eventually we'll siphon that up, but for now this should be self-feeding, and that should be fine. I think eventually it'll backlog into the storage anyway. So we should be fine. If not, we can always come down here and actually gather things ourselves, because it should automatically replant for us. So another thing is that this oxygen line is the oxygen use line. So go ahead. It's wired separately over here. But I don't think we really care. This one goes directly into the battery, the oxygen backlog. We could set up our own buffer if we really cared to before feeding out in the system, but I don't think we particularly care to, because unlike power, I'm not super particular about having a centralized area where we have all the things. I did have to add put some of the arc lights that we had taken down, put those back, because otherwise, yeah, stuff started to spawn, even just going back and forth. But okay, so the plant gatherer is powered. It is ready to go. The oxygen collector, you can see here, it has power. It just says not enough leaf blocks. And we can go ahead and just continue to build more of them as time allows. All we have left is to go down here and stock this thing full of potato seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, if I can. Let's see. There we go. Go. And look at that. It's already starting to plant some potatoes, and it goes across this entire range, and now it does automatically hold them for us, which is great. Let's go ahead and put these in as well. Can I let's see here. Come on, take them. There we go. Thank you. Now we're giving a potato seeds because I didn't happen to hold on to enough actual potatoes. What will be harvested would be, of course, actual potatoes, and then those will get fed back in. Now, I have in the past seen that the sower can plant potatoes, not just potato seeds, so we are fine. And you see the oxygen collector is already beginning to produce stuff. It says it's okay, so it's getting 64 per second. That I think is more than, yeah, that's plenty. This is great. Aha, okay. So that's interesting. It looks like the inventory slots themselves actually matter. So if you put if you just run it into one, it's only gonna plant across some of the area. That's interesting. I mean, it's weird, but it's interesting. Cool to know. Can I change? No. Okay. Oh man. I'm gonna build a temporary service platform. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, so you see this, so if I move these, it's using some of them, but not all of them. Fair enough. So once these, once we actually have potatoes, I'll go ahead and make sure, once we have proper potatoes, I'll make sure we have a potato in every slot, and then we'll lock the inventory so that we get something and everything. And you know what? I built this one too wide. Oh, that's weird. I'm sure that was triggering some of you, so I apologize. All right, so now let's hover our way down here. Yeah, 116 oxygen per second. We're using 14 per second in one of those rooms, so that's very exciting. This one is producing 70 per second, so we're already producing more just off of this alone. I would like to see something now, and that is what happens. Well, so one, we can turn this on and not run out of oxygen. But two, let's, oh, it won't let me change this for whatever reason. I wonder what happens if I remove this airlock. These are famous. Oh, okay, that was a bad idea. Stop. And that was a dumb idea. But I mean, if I remove the airlock like that, now we enable it, and now do we have, how much oxygen will we, oh wow. Look at that. We are able to maintain a seal like this. It's only using 40 per second. That's interesting. And now here, we could take these off, and we can breathe. Ladies and gentlemen, we can breathe. This is, oh, what? That's just, so now, okay, so in the airlock, just in the airlock, we can't breathe. But now, we can actually take down this airlock. Oh my goodness, we can actually open up some of this space for our own personal use. This is phenomenal news. I guess, yeah, we should take down this airlock as well. Oh, that is very weird. That it just so happens. Are we still sealed? We are still sealed. I don't know if we need the 2, but hey, I think we're in a good spot. If we can take a look, I guess we can monitor how this does. Of course, I will eventually want to replace some of this stuff with with proper tin. But look at that. We've been able to get rid of some airlocks. This is very exciting. Let's go ahead and actually put in some some oxygen canisters. I'd like to be able to do the same over here as well. Actually, what happens if we do take this out? Let's let me disable this seal real quick, because the problem is that if you have it enabled while there's a leak, then we do try and heat the great outdoors, as they say. Let's take this one out and then just see, does that work? 240 per second. Nope, too big. Okay, so it says that's unsealed. I wonder, it's possible that this does not count as sealed, or it is possible that it's also possible that it is just too much space. That either way is comprehensible. There we go. Okay. So fair enough. We'll deal with just having these 2 open for us right now. But man, that is fantastic news. Okay, I like this. I like this so much. Getting rid of airlocks, giving ourselves some more space, some more wiggle room. This is fantastic news. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Of course, we will use more oxygen when we go up or down, but up. But that's okay. And we could also, what I probably ought to do is just throw another oxygen sealer in here before we get rid of the airlock, and that way we can just test whether or not it's actually sealed. Cool. Yeah. All right, I'm excited. So there we go. Let's jump out and kind of look from afar. Oh man. And there's a single bonsai tree that is throwing stuff into the system just so that we start collecting resources there. So we can get a sense of how our ship is going to eventually be. I think we'll probably try and keep the height flush there. And this is gonna be interesting. But if we can ever gather enough tin blocks to actually seal this off, I'm kind of excited about it. I think things are kind of promising. We'll want to put some. we'll want to fix that as well. But man, and we could also probably move these machines indoors. Also, there's also a lot of stuff that is available to us, so we can improve our power a little bit as well. We do have the capability to create an advanced solar panel. I don't know about these electrical. We'll have to look at some of these other generators and see if there are benefits we can gain there. As I said in the past, we want to look at matter manipulation, creating some phasers and stuff. I did look around, and basically the Lost Cities mod, which is the thing that we encountered in the in the overworld. Basically, you have to stay in a building until you clear out enough. Until you clear out enough mobs to open the chest. So we've got to kind of just stay there and hang out and hope we don't die. So hopefully a phaser would perhaps aid us in that endeavor, because I'm not the best at melee combat, as I'm sure you have already surmised. But okay, I'm very excited. Oh my gosh, we have we have so much space. We have oxygen. We have potatoes being produced. Actually, let's go ahead and see how those potatoes are doing. Okay, we haven't gotten any yet. Well, that's a shame. But they are at least producing oxygen, and we can see they are growing. So not all of these planted at the same time. We've got 48%, 71%. There we go. Yeah, okay. So once this stuff continues to gather, and this stuff will, of course, replant. Once this gets all in place, I can go here. We'll go ahead, throw a potato in each of these, and then lock the inventory. So then it will go ahead and replant all of those, and we'll have indefinite potatoes. Once that backs up, we'll figure out a way to siphon off the excess so that we can use it for eating, perhaps even throw it into an automatic furnace. We'll have to see. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us today. Oh my goodness, I'm still so not used to this. Power. Power's looking okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it looks pretty stable. Of course, that's with the sifter off. I think with the sifter, sorry, the auto sieve off, with it on, I do think we drain a little bit of power over time. But we will definitely be going back to Earth pretty darn soon. I just want to gather up some additional resources, and I wanted to make sure, of course, we had food sorted out before we did that. So stay tuned for that in the near future, and I will see you next time. Oh my gosh, so much space out here in space, ladies and gentlemen. Ah. I'm so hyped. Are you hyped? Get hyped. I'll see you soon. Cheers.